Hi guys, and welcome back to another video. If you're new here, this is my 5-year-old Border Collie Aussie, and my name is Elle, and we are so happy to have you. So let's get right into today's video. It's going to be a good one. I'm covering all things how to care for a Border Collie and things that I think that you should know. If you are a new Border Collie owner or thinking about getting a Border Collie in the near future, this video is for you, and make sure to keep watching. So I will start off by saying that Aussie is not pure Border Collie, but he has a lot of Border Collie in him. We recently did a wisdom panel DNA test on him and found out that he's about 65% Border Collie. He has a lot of German Shepherd in him and then some other breeds as well. I'll actually put the DNA test results up on the screen here so that you guys can see as well. I always knew that he wasn't pure Border Collie, but I wanted to see exactly what was in him, and it was really cool to do this test, and we were actually really shocked to see the results. I can put a link down below as well so that you guys can try out the test yourself if you are curious. It's funny to me starting out this video like this because everyone says that Border Collies are so high energy and hyper and really never stop, and this is my Border Collie right here, sleeping peacefully with his two little stuffed animals and just being the best boy ever. So today's video is going to be about how to care for a Border Collie, and I'm going to go over all of the care aspects and things that I think that you should know too. A little disclaimer is that I am by no means a trainer or a Border Collie professional of any sort. I just have owned Aussie for 5 years now, going on 6, and I have learned a few things along the way that I think are really helpful, and I wish that I knew before owning a Border Collie myself. So let's get into those. And as always, make sure to like this video and subscribe to our channel if you enjoyed watching this. First thing that we're going to talk about is training your Border Collie. As a first-time dog owner myself, this is something that I really struggled with and didn't know much about. And getting a high energy working breed like a Border Collie takes a lot of dedication and effort when it comes to training. I won't lie about that. If you don't put in the dedication and the time and the effort when they're puppies, it's going to be really hard to reverse that going forward. This is especially true when it comes to socialization. This is something that I struggled with and we really messed up on. As a first-time dog owner around the time of COVID, I was pretty much oblivious to socialization. I knew that he had to meet other dogs, but I thought that meant that he had to meet every dog that we saw on the street, on our walks, at the dog park, and that is just far from the truth. He got attacked a few times as a small puppy, and it completely changed him and made him into a reactive dog when he became an adult, which is what we struggle with today, and we've struggled with this for a while now. Okay, well, Aussie decided to go for a little nap, but let's continue on. So, talking some more about socialization. Number one, your dog doesn't have to meet every dog or every person that you see on your walks. I would actually highly recommend avoiding this and only doing intentional meetups with people that you know and dogs that you know personally. You never know what you're getting into with a random person or a random dog. And honestly, this was one of the biggest mistakes I made with Aussie's training, and I wish I could go back in time, so I'm telling you guys this now so that you don't make the same mistakes with your puppy. I've actually seen some other people on Instagram and TikTok and etc. Use a wagon to socialize their puppy, and I think this is genius. Putting your puppy in a wagon and bringing them out for socialization walks so that they can hear those new sounds, they can see those new sights, they can smell those new smells, but they're not directly interacting with other people or other dogs that you don't know. So highly recommend trying this out with your puppy too, and let me know in the comments down below if you did this with your dog and how it turned out. I think if I was going to get another Border Collie tomorrow, this is what I would be doing to socialize them. I did also sign Aussie up for a few puppy socialization classes, which were pretty good. I would actually say like they were really good. It was a controlled setting with like a trainer, and she knew when to kind of like stop those puppy interactions and when it was getting too much. And that was helpful because as a new dog owner, I really didn't know. So sign them up for a few puppy socialization classes, take them out for those wagon puppy socialization walks, but don't let them meet every stranger and every dog that you see on your walks. Okay, so moving out of puppy socialization, but still staying on the topic of training, it is important to build boundaries with your Border Collie puppy young. They know how to push these boundaries and they will, so stay strong, stay consistent, and make these boundaries clear. Not talking like no dogs on the bed, because clearly I let my Border Collie on the bed, but there has to be some sort of boundaries set or they will just run all over you. One example is place training. So for example, you could do like place training for dinners and have them sit on their bed for dinners. Every time that you eat, they go to their place. And this becomes a consistent routine and something that they work up to and begin to know, and that can become really useful. Now that we've covered pretty much everything that I want to cover in training your Border Collie, I want to move on to exercising your Border Collie. But with exercising, we're also going to cover mental enrichment. These two pretty much go hand in hand, in my opinion anyways, and I sometimes think that mental enrichment is even more important than exercise, especially for Border Collie puppies. While yes, they do need exercise, they need those walks, they need to burn that energy out, it's actually more beneficial and more intentional to do mental enrichment and stimulate their brains instead of their bodies. This actually helps to keep them from getting overstimulated and overwhelmed, which is common with Border Collie puppies. If you've ever had one or gone through the puppy stages with a Border Collie, you definitely know this. So finding that balance and routine with both physical exercise and mental enrichment is key. I have a few favorites for mental enrichment, so I'll share them on the screen and then I'll also link them down below in the description. But Brightkins is for sure one of my favorite and go-to brands. And with a Border Collie, it can be hard to find puzzles and mental enrichment toys that actually stimulate and work their brains. Even my 5-year-old Border Collie struggles with, so they are definitely worth it, and I highly recommend. I still try to keep up with it now, but even more so when he was a puppy, I used to stock up enrichment for the week so that it was ready to go, and I could just give it to him anytime that he had a lot of energy or was overwhelmed. It would help to tire him out, work his brain, and he would be able to settle at the end of it. Puzzles are great, but if you want to throw something in the freezer or freeze their food as enrichment, Westpaw is another great brand. You can use their topples to stuff a ton of different things like wet food, kibble that's soaked in water, or bone broth, peanut butter, anything like that, and just stick it in the freezer and it'll be good to go in about an hour or so. So moving on, I'm going to move into Border Collie behaviors. Let's start off by saying that anxiety and reactivity in Border Collies is super common. They are a super sensitive breed and they're easily affected by change in their environment and triggers, etc. I know I already talked about reactivity a bit when I touched on socialization, but anxiety and reactivity are such a big topic, especially with working and herding breeds, so I think it's important that we cover this topic. As a first-time dog owner myself, navigating life with an anxious and reactive dog, it was definitely tough, and I wish that there was more resources out there and people that talked about this, so I hope that this can be a helpful resource for you guys if you're struggling too. Moving off of that, he is super sensitive and he's super sensitive to my emotions and how I'm feeling. Border Collies are honestly the most amazing dogs and they are so loving, and I don't think that I could ever live without him. If you've ever loved or owned a Border Collie, I'm sure you feel the same way, so please tell me again in the comments if you feel this way too. I've also heard a lot of people say that their Border Collie like never cuddles and wants their own space all the time, but honestly, Ozzy has become so cuddly and needy and like a complete Velcro dog in the past year or so. I love it. I've always wanted him to cuddle, but I just was confused when he became super cuddly and needy and affectionate. Now I'm going to move into grooming the Border Collie and how to keep up with grooming care. Be prepared that Border Collies shed a ton. I have a Border Collie and a Newfoundland, and I always thought that my Newfie would shed more than my Border Collie, but turns out my Border Collie sheds a ton more. I don't know if this is because he's mixed with a German Shepherd, so this isn't 100%, but he sheds a ton. It is super important to keep up with regular brushing, and especially in the wintertime, it's super important to keep up with hydration and keeping his coat hydrated and calm and clear. So with grooming comes bath time, and bath time has always been a struggle for Ozzy. He is super anxious when it comes to the bath. So I actually love and use Earth Raider products, and I wanted to talk about them a little bit. I use the No Rinse dog shampoo, and this is perfect for anxious dogs like Ozzy when it comes to bath time because there's actually no water needed. So I use this in between bath days and it keeps his coat hydrated and shiny and people are always asking like what I do to keep his coat so shiny. These products are what I've been using. This is the de-shedding shampoo as well. It's great for when they do need a bath, and his coat and skin has done really well on it even though he has a sensitive skin. So this is great for dogs that shed a lot, and highly recommend. I will put a link down below as well. And another thing that I'm going to mention with grooming is that it's really important to keep an eye on their skin underneath their coat because they can be prone to hot spots, and Ozzy actually gets these. We have to constantly monitor for hot spots in both the winter and summer because the winter when he gets wet outside and then comes back inside to dry is a trigger for hot spots, and then also in the summer when he's wet all the time at the lake and beach is another reason that he gets hot spots. So So it's important to monitor these and care for them as soon as you notice them before they get too bad. And then the last thing that I'm going to talk about is preventative care and how to keep them healthy and happy for as long as possible. Because there's such high energy active dogs, they are prone to hip and joint injuries, and we've already experienced that with Ozzy. He's only 5, but a while back he experienced a hip injury and he struggled to even get up the stairs, which broke my heart. We started using these joint supplements when he was injured, and now we use them every day just as preventative. But it's the U Move made by Vetmeek hip and joint supplement. These guarantee results in 4 weeks, and we definitely saw results. He completely changed after we started giving these to him on a daily. So if your dog's struggling or you just want to get them on a preventative, this is a great joint supplement, and again, I can link it in the description down below. Other than that, we also give him a probiotic like multivitamin supplement, and we try to give that to him daily, and then a skin and coat chew as well. Just helps to keep him overall happy and healthy and thriving, which is our ultimate goal and priority as dog owners. If you guys have any questions about any of the products that I talked about, just drop them in the comments down below. I'd be happy to answer. These are all products that I love and use on a regular basis with Ozzy, so always happy to answer your questions about them. Okay, I think that is all. We covered pretty much everything that I want to cover here when it comes to caring for a border collie. So I'm gonna wrap this video up here, and again, make sure to like this video and subscribe to our channel if you enjoyed watching this video. Also make sure to follow us over on Instagram and TikTok. Our handle is Cured by Dogs, and I post there pretty much daily. So give us a follow over there as well. Bye guys!